Hey guys, welcome to the Firebrand Show. I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley, and we are Next Gen pastors here in Las Vegas, Nevada. On today's episode, we are talking about how do I own my faith.
Yep.
Let's get into this. We are so excited because we have one of our incredible youth students here with us today. Her name is Kaylee. We love doing that around here. Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you just give us like a quick who you are?
Well, my name's Kaylee. I just graduated high school with an associate's degree.
Ooh, come on.
I'm 17, and I'm committed to go play soccer down in New Mexico.
Yeah,
What
we're
position
really
do you
sad.
play?
I play wing.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Specific side?
It's like on left, but I usually
You can
rotate.
go both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like the person who runs down the field.
Oh, do you kick the ball into the net? Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try.
You try?
I
Oh, I love that. We're excited to talk to you today, but before we do, Kaylee is getting her first tattoo this week.
Hold on. Before we go even further with that, I feel like there's something else we should say with that.
Yes, you're
Because
right.
there's a reason she's getting her first tattoo. She's turning 18 years old.
She is turning 18 years old this week, and we're really excited. We actually have a birthday treat for you.
Yeah.
Really?
So
We
we
do.
do. we really do. But we're going to give it to you at the end. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we'll give it
Okay.
to you at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So turning 18, getting your first tattoo.
Yep. Kaylee's turning 18. She's getting her first tattoo. And we have had this conversation because here in Las Vegas, Nevada, there are places where you can get $10 tattoos. And Kaylee knows this, but I'm on like a binge right now with that. I got 2 in like the span of a week. And they're really small. Like mine's like my new one's pretty small. It's a little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little lightning bolt, like super small. They're small tattoos. But $10 tattoos, you know, you're not getting a $10 one. This is like on the whim. You have to pick off a chart. So let's talk about tattoos. In getting your tattoo, did you put a lot of thought into this? Do you feel like putting thought into your tattoos is better than getting a $10 lightning bolt tattoo? You won't offend me, by the way.
I'd say I feel like it depends the person, but
Yeah.
personally me, I do prefer putting thought into it.
Into it?
Especially because when you do that, they're going to be bigger.
Yeah.
And $10 tattoos are tiny.
Yeah.
So I'd only get a $10 tattoo if it's somewhere where like no one can really see it.
Yeah, mine's covered.
Yeah.
And it's a
Sometimes.
light, like, I feel like you could at least think it out. It's a lightning bolt, we're good. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yours is covered, but until you wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, but I'm still proud of it.
But yeah.
There's meaning
But
behind
yeah.
it. It's fine.
But
But I feel you. What are you getting?
I'm getting a tattoo above my knee.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matching tattoo with my brother. That's cool. And in fine line writing, it's going to say por siempre, which means forever in Spanish.
Oh, I love that. Or is your parents getting it too?
No.
No?
No.
Would your mom get one?
My mom would never get one.
Okay.
Your dad has a few, though.
Never.
Yeah,
My
your dad
dad,
has
yeah,
a few.
Yeah.
he does.
But your mom would never get one.
Never.
Oh,
Okay. I think I have a goal now. Oh, that's awesome.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So we ready to get started?
Let's get into this.
All right. Main topic, how do I own my faith? So Kaylee, we hear people talk about, I go to church with my family, so I have faith, I follow Jesus, but what does that mean to you when it comes to being a teenager, going to church, and having faith for yourself?
I'd say just having a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
But I think you have to set aside the stuff that God's done for your family and for you personally. I think it's easier to think about it like that.
It's good.
Like, for example, my parents are church planners.
Yeah.
So I think I trusted them with moving, right? Like, I trusted their faith, like, okay, hopefully they got this right.
Yeah.
But I think when I was over there, it took my own faith to kind of start leading, to follow God, to stay in my walk with God. Because being a teenager, you can get a lot of temptations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. So to give context to what Kaylee just said too, her family moved from here in Las Vegas to Colorado to plant a church. So you're talking about how you had to just trust your parents, but when you were out there, God started working on your heart. And tell us a little bit of that journey. Like, how long do you feel like it took you to really understand that God had purpose in you being in Colorado, not just you and your family? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It did. I'd say it took about like 2-3 years. It did take a while because I moved when I was 9.
Wow.
So I grew up in the church my whole life, but obviously I hadn't gotten baptized or anything like that. And I wasn't really involved in the church at the time either. I was learning the piano when I was around 10, but I never got up and played. We already had a pianist.
Yeah.
I got baptized when I was 12.
Wow.
And that's when I kind of started playing the piano, but it wasn't like I was there every Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I felt like I had Jesus in my heart, but church became like a routine for me. Because, I mean, when your parents are pastors, you're at church almost every single day.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was just becoming like a routine, like, okay, show up, go to church, help set up, clean up after, serve. And then I went to a youth convention in Colorado Springs when I was like 13. And that's when I don't even know what they're preaching about, but that's where I kind of like rededicated my life.
Yeah.
And an important thing that like kind of connected with that was my dad, because I used to be so anxious when I'd sing. I feel like I still am a little bit.
Nah, you're
confident. I'd be like pacing like before I'd go up on stage, and he told me he was like it's not a performance. He was like, you're doing this for God.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of shifted my perspective and even my walk with God. I was like, I'm not doing this for my parents or like for the church members. You know, I'm doing this for myself.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of started like my prayer time, you know, my Bible time. And then I saw change in how I worshiped and how I led others. So that's kind of where I owned my own faith.
Yeah, that's good. And talking about faith is a lot like the air that we breathe, right? We need air to live. We need faith in order for our heart and our soul to live, spiritually speaking, right? And so thinking about that, I just want to ask you, what are some ways that you have put like your faith into practice? How have you strengthened it? Like, what are your priorities when it comes to really owning and embracing faith as your own?
Well, one example of I've seen my faith is during the college recruiting process. I think just like, because at first I didn't want to play soccer. I was kind of like, oh, I'll just go for school. Like, I'm done playing soccer. Until I had my first tournament. It was like one of my first tournaments of my last, you know?
Yeah.
And then I had a few college coaches come up to me, but I kind of said just no.
Yeah.
I kind of turned them away.
Good.
I was like, oh, I'm not playing. And then I got my first rejection from the college that I applied to.
Wow.
And I was like, dang. Like, I opened it in front of my whole family too. So it was pretty sad. But from there, I was just like, okay, I got rejected, but I have offers over here. Like, I know I could get the offers now.
Yeah. And
my parents, they left me up to it. They're like, you could do literally whatever you want. And I was like, okay, like, I trust God. I was still waiting for acceptance letters. And I was like, I'm going to just have faith in him to see, like, where I get. And I ended up getting about 10 offers. But then one from New Mexico was the only one that was, like, hit everything.
Yeah.
And I think that was because, like, I trusted God through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had someone come up to me in my signing, and they were like, because someone had told my dad, they were like, oh, like, God helped Kaylee get to school, like, helped her get a scholarship. And then they were like, it wasn't all God, it was your hard work. And I don't feel like I reacted in the proper way. I was kind of just like laughed it off, and then like I said goodbye to them. But I think it's like he gave me the gifts and talents how I saw it.
Yes.
He gave me the gifts and talents. So I wouldn't even have the opportunity to play if I wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and he provided the opportunity for me to go out there. So I feel like that was kind of like what showed me like, you didn't do this by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, God will always use what you put the skills that he gives you. If you put faith in his plan to use them, he'll always come through. And it's true for soccer, right? Like, I know that we've had conversations, right? Like, we do. We're in youth together. So we've had conversations of how you feel and how you did feel in this whole process. And just to watch your journey of faith, to just trust that God was going to use this skill of soccer for his glory for you has been so cool. Because I think people can look at something like a sport and they go, well, how can God use that?
Yeah.
Like, he totally can. You're putting faith in him to use you. He's going to use it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned, getting that first rejection. And how did that help you move forward in your using your faith to know that God has something else for you? Because you mentioned that you were just going to go to school just to get a degree and not go for soccer at first. But, maybe how did you see that rejection, and how did it change the way that you viewed God and what he wanted you to do?
Yeah, well, I saw it as like a redirection.
Okay.
I was like, okay, he doesn't want me to move to that state.
Yeah.
And I guess sort of how I saw it was like, okay, we church planted in Colorado, we did our work there, and then we left. And then we came back to Vegas, and we did our work here. And then now I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like, okay, maybe that's not where God wants me to be,
Wow, yeah.
Like maybe he's preparing me to go somewhere, have my impact, Because I feel like you think soccer, like you're saying, and it's like, what kind of impact can your faith have on there? And I remember there was a lot of injuries in my team, like out of nowhere. We used to never get injured. So we went down to the tournament in Arizona, and they were like, okay, let's pray. They're like, Kaylee, can you pray? So then I prayed in the huddle before, and then we went and played, and then one of my teammates came up to me after before starting another one of our games, and she was like, can you pray with me? And then we prayed before the game, and then we start, and then she was like, okay, can you pray with me every time before we start a game?
Wow, yeah.
So it's like, I didn't say anything. They just knew I went to
prayed.
church, and they're like, let's have Kaylee pray.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where like the seeds start planting, Like you don't even have to talk about it. Everyone just knows.
Yeah.
So when I got my rejection letter, I knew God was planning on doing something different that I didn't have in mind for me.
Yeah.
So
I love what you just shared, because I think that everything you just said about you being asked to pray simply because they knew who you were goes to show how much you've owned your own faith. They didn't go, oh, we should bring in Diego, Kaylee's dad. Let's bring in Caleb, your brother, or Claudia, your mom. They literally said, can we have Kaylee pray? Because they knew you. They knew you were a lady of faith, And I think that's so cool. You've owned your faith and people see it, you know?
Yeah.
What are some other like practical ways that you think that this generation can really own their faith? So you've mentioned like, using your skills for his purpose, but like, what are some practical ways? It can be anything from like reading the Bible, worship, whatever you feel. But what has helped you?
I'd say worship. Even just the simple thing about listening to worship music, and even more like as a worshiper and being on the worship team, it may sound like it's like, oh, like, instruments and stuff like that. But even just looking at the lyrics, like I guarantee you there's a worship song that is talking about your exact situation.
That's good.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is I'll just like listen to a worship song, and then if there's a verse that connects to that song, read it and listen to it, praying it, and then that's how I hear from God.
That's cool.
So that's how I think is an easy way to get into the presence of God.
Yeah.
Simply listening to worship. And everyone, literally every teenager listens to worship, to music.
Yeah.
So that's super easy way.
Yeah, you guys always have your AirPods in.
Yeah.
Even if you're not listening to something.
Yeah.
What are ways that you, like, back in teen days, do you remember? Because for me, like, I connect so deeply to that was worship, but then the other one for me was community. Like, being around like-minded believers that influenced my faith and helped me keep it, growing.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, gosh, this is making me think for a second. For me, going backwards in what helped me develop my own faith, honestly, my story's a little bit different, and maybe that's a conversation for another day, but I would say walking away from God in a season and walking away from my faith really made me appreciate and develop my own faith when I came back to him.
Yeah.
So there was a season right after I graduated high school where I kind of did my own thing.
Yeah.
And it took, failing, realizing I couldn't do it on my own, to know that I needed my faith in God to help me move forward in life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I was just curious, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just interesting. I think there's so many ways that you can grow your faith.
Yeah.
There's so many ways. Okay, let's talk about the Bible for a second. Is there a specific story in the Bible or verse in the Bible that you feel has really just like encouraged you or spurred on your desire to growing in your faith? I know for us, Timothy is a big one.
Yeah.
We lean on 1 Timothy 4:12. Don't let anybody look down on you because you're young. Show them with who you are, how you love, how you talk. But we, like Timothy himself, he submitted to these 2 women, and he grew in his faith as a young kid, so that when he got older, his faith was strong and it was good. He didn't rely on the church. He didn't rely on these, 2 mentors in his life, but he just developed his own faith. He was faithful to the word, faithful to connecting with God. So there's stuff in the Bible that has stood out to you that has just made it like, I want that kind of faith.
My verse is 1 Joshua 8:9.
Okay.
I don't know by memory.
It's okay. So Joshua 8:9.
Yes. It says, study this book of instruction continually. Meditate on it day and night, so you will be sure to obey everything written in it. Only then will you prosper and succeed in all you do. This is my command. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And that last part, I mean,
yeah.
Again, being a church planner, we've moved.
Yeah.
I will be moving 3 times. My brother has lived in 4 different states.
Yeah.
So I think we've just seen him work. So that's a big verse for me.
Yeah.
And about like prospering, I know we wouldn't prosper without him.
Yeah.
So just the way that he keeps showing up for me, it just gives me confidence to continue my walk in him, because he's never failed us and he never will. He hasn't in the future. So yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. One final question.
Okay, so you just graduated high school, you're going into college. If you could give one piece of advice to those maybe a little bit younger than you, maybe they're a little bit older than you and still newer in their faith, what's one thing that you would encourage other students to do to grow their faith and to get closer to God?
Yeah.
I'd have to say community, like you mentioned, especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you surround yourself with other believers, they'll help you with your walk. And it can be simple stuff like doing a Bible plan together.
Yeah.
You guys don't even have to meet up. It can be
Virtual.
Online. It's so simple, but even just leaving the comments at the end of the Bible plan,
Yep.
you guys will connect on a different level.
Yeah.
And I have this thing that I say, friends who go to church together stay together.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that, because it's you guys will have the same I'd say morals or principles.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And it allows you to connect better. But then you guys are also leading each other in the correct path.
Yeah.
So I think surrounding yourself by other believers is going to help you grow your relationship with God.
Yeah.
I can speak from experience on that.
I was going to say, you're hitting it right on the head, girl.
Some of my friends still to this day are friends that I made when I was in youth group 20 years ago. And it's just, like you said, similar morals and values, and you agree on the same things and have similar lives. And so I love that community.
Yeah. Community is, I mean, think about it, right? In the book of Acts, how did the church grow? They were together. They were together. They rubbed off on each other's faith. I mean, the scripture says that iron sharpens iron. And so if you want to grow sharper in your faith, sit against somebody that will sharpen your faith.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well done. That was so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Kaylee.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
We're not done with you yet. We are going to do something really fun with Kaylee. She knows a little bit about it, but we're excited. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for that next segment. Okay, so before we celebrate Kaylee and her birthday today, I want to do something that I've seen on TikTok.
All right.
Okay, as of right now, it's trending. Hopefully it's trending when this airs. But if it's not, it's okay.
That's all right.
It's the red flags challenge.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically a filter on TikTok that shows you what your red flags are. So we're going to go one at a time. We're going to see what each other's red flags are. And we're going to see how good or not good. Like, is it on? Is it not? How accurate
these red flags actually are.
Yes.
Okay, who's first?
You.
All right.
You're first.
I'm first. Here we go. You ready for that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really... I feel like I can speak to this really well.
Let me make sure I'm good to go. Okay. So red flags. Okay, here we go. What are my red flags? First one, daddy's girl. Oh, yeah. Big daddy's girl. Works too much.
No.
That's actually pretty true. Gets hangry. Yeah.
Oh, you get hangry.
Other than daddy's girl, because clearly I have a daddy's girl.
Yeah, our daughter is a daddy's girl, but you are not a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
All right. Kaylee, you can go next.
Me next?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a sec.
What are my
Okay. My red flags. First one, indecisive.
Ooh.
Oh, I think we just talked about that.
Not flexible. And self-centered.
Okay.
Dang.
Wow.
You're not self-centered at all.
Yeah, that last one is way off.
Do you need to be flexible to play soccer?
You don't need to.
Like, I like can't do the splits or nothing, but I'm not flexible either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of in between.
Okay. And what was the first one again?
Indecisive.
I feel like you've grown in this. You're not as indecisive as you were
Yeah,
10 months ago when I met you.
I used to be super indecisive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten better though.
We just talked about that, right? Like
Yeah.
how indecisive Kaylee was deciding
Yeah.
her
All right.
college career.
Last but not least.
All right, let me set up this whole situation. I'm actually scared. All right, red flags. Astrology obsessed.
Ooh.
Believes in aliens.
This one's
Lives
out there.
with parents. This is so far from the truth.
All three of those.
Yeah, I'm going to do it again, guys. I'm going to do it again. Okay, ready?
All right, this is going to be the one.
Hopefully. Overplucks their eyebrows. Arrogant. Sweet tooth. That one's true.
Sweet.
Am I
I say
arrogant?
those ones. No, you're not arrogant.
I'm not arrogant?
I don't think so.
Oh,
You're
that's
very
kind.
confident.
What's the difference?
Well, there's a difference between confidence and
Teach me.
arrogance.
What's the difference between arrogance and confidence?
Well, back to Kaylee.
Well, I'd say the sweet tooth is definitely you by the number of coffees you drink every day. It's definitely you.
Kaylee, like, can you just hold up your cup for a second? Are you drinking coffee today?
No,
I want you to so bad.
this is water.
How many? Okay, for context, Kaylee sees me every time at church and basically asks me how many cups of coffee I have had that day. And this started at youth convention, and she saw how much coffee I drank in a day, and it was a lot. I know, but I was with teenagers all day, every
That's your
day.
red flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, Kaylee, I want you to guess. How many cups? This is how many cups today. This is my number. What?
Okay.
It is
Well,
currently
When I came in, it was filled to the top. So I want to say 3.
Yeah, you're right on. You're right
Yeah?
on. I had one at home. I had one when I first got here, and this is
All
mine.
right, now you gotta guess.
Third.
How many have I? What number is this for me today?
How many Red Bulls?
I want to say 4.
No.
No?
Close. This is number 3.
Number 3?
4 is.
Okay.
I would do 4 if I needed to, but it doesn't happen often.
So you don't do coffee or energy drinks.
I don't.
How do you have enough energy to play soccer?
Like,
Because you got to run a lot.
yeah.
Okay?
But like, I don't know. The only coffee I drink is Frappuccinos,
That's not coffee.
but that's not even.
That's sugar.
Yeah.
that's a sweet tooth.
It's not even coffee.
That's a sweet tooth.
I just run on naps.
You run on naps.
I run
you
on
do
naps.
run on naps. You do. You do like to nap.
Yeah.
You love to nap. Okay, we want to just take a second and celebrate Kaylee before we send her off. While we're getting our cake pops brought over, can you tell us, like, if anybody wants to find you on social media, how can they find you? Where can they find you? How can people connect with you, Kaylee?
My Instagram is Kaylee Kaylee .Castano Castano.
Amazing. On Instagram?
Yep.
Are you on TikTok? You don't want to be found there.
I don't want to. I don't. I use it, but like I don't post anything.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be found on TikTok.
That's how I am with
get it.
Instagram.
Actually, I think I have the same username.
Okay, so go find her.
Yeah.
Kaylee.
Go find me on TikTok.
Castano. Billy just got TikTok yesterday.
Just yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it so far?
Yeah. I'm still
That's a
learning
no.
it. I mean, it's fairly similar to Instagram, just a few different things, but
Yeah.
so far, good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get our cake pops so that we can celebrate Kaylee before we wrap up this show? You're turning 18, you're getting a tattoo, you're going to college. Girl, you got a big
Crazy.
summer ahead of
Yeah.
you. Amazing. These are pink cake pops. I was like cake
Thank
cups.
you.
This is not a cake
These
cup.
are not
There's
cake
not
cups.
coffee in them.
So you've never had one of these.
I've never had one.
You've never had a cake pop.
You're doing a lot of firsts.
This is a big week for you.
It is.
I mean, you don't leave for college yet, but you've committed, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, happy birthday, Kaylee.
Thank you.
Cheers. We'll swing around the mic. Cheers. And
Enjoy.
Enjoy. Oh, yeah. Cake pops are bomb. First impression. You don't know what to think.
They're like,
It's like a chewy cake.
yeah. I thought it would be sweeter, but it's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we just started an addiction. Maybe this is how you'll have 4 of these a day.
Maybe. Wait, how much are they?
I don't even know.
Maybe $2 to $3.
I feel like $2.95.
Something. Maybe.
Something like that.
Because imagine how much money you spend on coffee.
Oh my gosh, do not shame me even more. Yeah. Well, thank you, Kaylee, for
Yes.
being with us today. It has
Thank you for
been
having
so
me.
fun hanging out with you. Before you head off to college, having you here, we can't wait to have you come back. And we can't wait to hear how God stretches your faith in this season. So thank you guys for watching and listening. Follow us on social media at The Firebrand Show on all platforms. And we cannot wait to see you in the next episode.